Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Hub. I'm Larry.
And I'm Amanda.
Always psyched to dive into the latest AI trends with you all. And
we're not going to let you get lost in the weeds.
Speaking of weeds, today's deep dive is all about AI in the workplace.
Yeah, we're digging into Isabel Berry's FT Working It podcast series.
Got CEOs, tech experts, and everyday employees like us chiming in.
It's wild, honestly. On one hand, you've got executives going all in on AI.
Yeah, they are all over it.
A 7-fold increase in urgency around AI adoption in just 6 months.
7-fold.
Crazy, right? But here's the thing.
What's that?
2/3 of desk workers haven't even touched AI yet.
So it's like they're handing out these shiny new AI sports cars.
But forgetting the driving lesson.
Exactly. So is it just fear of the unknown? I mean, change is scary, especially with something as big as AI.
Fear is part of it for sure, but there's more to it. Slack's research actually found 5 AI user personas in the workplace.
Okay, so hit me with these personas. Where do I fit in?
Well, you've got the maximalists, basically AI, all the way full speed ahead.
Yeah, makes sense.
Then there are the rebels. They see AI as a threat, and they're fighting back.
Sounds like a recipe for some serious office drama.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then you have the folks in the middle, which is where it gets really interesting.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so I've got the undergrounders. They're using AI on the sly.
On the sly.
Totally. But they're worried about getting in trouble for it.
Like a secret society of AI users.
Exactly. It's kind of funny when you think about it.
It is. There's got to be way more of them than we realize.
Probably. Then you have the super fans excited about AI but haven't actually used it yet.
Okay.
And the observers, they're just watching how everything plays out.
So a whole spectrum of reactions to AI in the workplace.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure. Trust is a big deal.
Absolutely. If employees don't trust AI or why their company is using it, it's going to be a tough sell.
It's not just about giving people fancy new tools and saying, figure it out.
Right. It's about building trust and being open about how AI is being used.
Christina Janza from Slack's Workforce Lab put it perfectly. She said AI adoption isn't just about the tech.
Yeah. She said it's about the people.
Creating a space where people feel safe to experiment and to talk about their concerns.
And we have to remember AI is powerful, but it's not a magic bullet.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There are definitely some potential downsides to think about.
Especially when it comes to fairness and job security.
Which brings us to our next point. This idea that AI could either level the playing field
or make the gap between senior and junior employees even bigger.
Yeah, this whole skills equalizer thing is fascinating, but also kind of scary.
And Azim Azar, a tech investor, made a really interesting point.
What was that?
He said that senior employees, the ones who are already good at delegating,
right,
they might actually benefit more from AI than their junior colleagues.
Because using these tools effectively is a lot like delegating tasks.
Exactly. So while AI could help less experienced workers step up their game,
it could also give those already in power an even bigger edge.
Yeah, it's something we really need to be careful about as AI becomes more common in our work lives.
So are we headed towards an AI-powered utopia, or are we going to see existing inequalities get worse?
Honestly, it's probably a bit of both. The key is to be aware of the potential problems and to deal with them head on.
And to be smart about how we use AI. Figure out where it can really add value and where it might just complicate things.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of complications, let's talk about AI agents.
AI agents.
Yeah, they're not just tools. They're more like AI assistants that can take action for you.
Wait, so we're talking about AI that can actually send emails?
Yeah.
Schedule meetings, make decisions. That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does, but it's becoming real. Think about it giving your AI assistant access to your email, your calendar, even your bank account.
That is a whole lot of trust. And what if something goes wrong? Who's responsible?
That's the million-dollar question. Sarah Franklin from Salesforce said there's no rule book for this stuff. We're all kind of making it up as we go along.
So we've got executives all hyped up about AI employees with a mix of feelings. And this whole new world of AI agents on the horizon.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But it's just the beginning. The future of work is changing right in front of us. and AI is leading the charge.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating time. It's not just about the tech itself, it's about how we adapt as humans.
Like we're all trying to figure out the rules of this brand new game.
With some pretty high stakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the risks for a sec. We've touched on a few, but what keeps you up at night when you think about AI and the future of work?
Honestly, one of the things that worries me most is bias in AI systems. Like if we're not super careful, AI could just end up making existing biases even worse.
That's a huge point. We all know AI systems are only as good as the data they learn from. So if the data is biased, the AI will be too.
Right, and that's why it's so important to have diverse teams working on AI development. Like we need people from all different backgrounds with different perspectives to make sure these systems are fair for everyone.
So diversity in tech isn't just a feel-good thing. It's absolutely essential.
100%. And it's not just about who builds the systems, but also the data that's used to train them. We need to think about where that data comes from, who collected it, and what kinds of biases might be baked in.
So it's a complex problem that needs a complex solution. We need to be thinking about bias at every single step of the AI development process.
Exactly. And it's not just a tech problem, it's a social problem too. We need to have those uncomfortable conversations about bias, discrimination, and social justice if we want AI systems that actually reflect our values.
That's a powerful thought. AI isn't just some neutral tool. It's a reflection of us as a society.
It is.
Yeah.
And it can either amplify the best of us or the worst.
I think a lot of people are still struggling to understand how AI is going to impact their jobs, their lives. It's changing so fast, it's hard to keep up.
Oh, absolutely. But it's also super exciting. I mean, we're literally living through a tech revolution.
We are. What advice would you give to someone who's feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of this? Maybe even a little scared?
That's a good question. First, I'd say don't freak out. It's easy to get caught up in all the hype, but we're still in the early days of AI. Things are changing fast, but that also means we have a chance to shape things.
So what can we do to make sure AI is a positive force in our lives?
Stay informed, read articles, listen to podcasts like this one, go to events where you can learn about the latest AI developments.
The more we understand about AI, the better we can handle the changes that are coming.
Right, and don't be afraid to speak up. If you're not sure how AI is being used at work, or if you have concerns about bias, say something.
Our voices matter. We need to be part of the conversation.
Totally, and don't be afraid to keep learning. AI is constantly changing, so we need to adapt and pick up new skills throughout our careers.
I love that. Instead of being scared of change, let's see it as a chance to grow.
Exactly. And remember, AI is a tool. It's up to us to decide how to use it and make sure it benefits everyone.
It feels like we're standing on the edge of something brand new, like a whole new world.
It really does. And we're all figuring it out together.
So what's the most important thing for people to remember as we step into this AI-powered future?
Stay curious. Be open to new ideas. But don't just take everything you hear about AI as gospel.
Be skeptical.
Exactly. Ask questions. Do your own research. Don't just believe the hype.
It's easy to get caught up in it.
Oh, for sure. There's a ton of hype, but there's also a lot of misinformation out there.
So how do we know what to believe? Who can we trust?
Honestly, it's tough. But I think you gotta look for sources that are credible, that have evidence, and that show both sides of the story.
Not just the people who are trying to sell you AI.
Exactly. Be a smart consumer of information. And don't be afraid to challenge the way things are done. Just because we've always done it one way doesn't mean that's the best way AI could really shake things up.
It could change the way we work, learn live.
It could. And that's what makes it so exciting. We have a chance to shape how AI is used, to make sure it's used for good, and to create a better world.
Not just a world with cool tech, but a world that's fairer, more equal.
Exactly. And that brings us back to where we started. The human element is key. AI is just a tool.
It's up to us to decide how to use it.
Right. We need to set the rules, the ethical guidelines, make sure it serves us, not the other way around.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an awesome conversation. I feel like I've learned a ton, and I'm honestly feeling pretty optimistic about the future of AI.
Me too. It's always great chatting with you about AI.
And thanks to everyone listening for joining us on this deep dive into AI in the workplace.
If you want to keep learning more, definitely check out Isabel Berry's FT Working It podcast. She goes deeper on some of the stuff we talked about today.
And to stay up to date on everything AI, make sure you subscribe to AI Hub. We'll be back next week with another deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence.
Until then, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep dreaming big.
Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.